Hello everyone, my name is Alok Mishra and I once again welcome all of you on my YouTube channel. Today, this is going to be a very short, sharp and focused video in which I will discuss some important things to do for all those who have completed their masters in English literature and now they are trying to secure a seat for PhD in some universities. So, if you are experiencing that there is some delay or there is some time that you need to take before you get a seat for a PhD and start studying about your subject, start researching about your subject matter, then there are certain things that you must do. It will only add to your knowledge, broaden the canvas of your understanding of literature, and also enrich your experiences in literature. So, why are you trying to get a PhD? Because you want to pursue your career in literature and this is focusing only in one direction, that is trying to become a professor. Congratulations for that ambition and I wish you all the best. But before you go there, before you start teaching your students or before you start thinking about the subject matter for your PhD, ask yourself, do you have the complete idea? Or do you have a working idea of literature? In most of the cases, many people will answer, yes, I do have the idea. But the thing is that when you refocus, when you try to relook or revisit everything that you have done in these 5 years, 3 years for the graduation and 2 years for the post-graduation, you will find a kind of vacuum or a kind of lacuna. Because all these years, what you have been doing is you have been memorizing, you have been studying, and you have been doing your studies, research and everything just because there is a fear of getting flunked in the examination looming over your head. And this compulsion makes you work hard. This compulsion makes you work in the nights, in the days, in your classroom, even in the circles with your friends. I'm not telling this thing to demean anyone because I have experienced the same. I have been studying literature for more than 15 years now. I was in the first year of my BA in English literature in 2008. And you can imagine 15 years with English literature has been some journey for me. And that is why with all this experience, I can tell you that the compulsion of passing the examinations, the compulsion of getting better grades, the compulsion of getting good marks makes you study literature, makes you study books, makes you study novels, makes you study poetry, makes you study drama and everything else. But as soon as you get out of that fear, then I will advise anyone must relook, just look behind. Just look at everything that you have done and you will have new perspectives, new ideas, a new vision. I bet. Try doing it and you'll find it. So now that you have completed your MA and you don't have any fear of getting flunked in examination or getting bad grades or numbers or scores in your examination, then I suggest that you should have a broad look at literature in general. Like, what is literature? Why do we study literature? What is literary study? What is literary theory? Why is Shakespeare so famous? Why was Marlowe so famous? Why is Wordsworth considered a giant in English literature? Why was John Keats so short-lived in terms of his imagination and in terms of his poetic vision? Why was Shelley being so Shelleyesque? And why T.S. Eliot was perplexed with the very idea of human degeneration? So there are many questions that you can make and you can try to relook at everything that you have done in those 5 years. Now, I do have some serious suggestions for those who want to be serious students of literature beyond the fear of marks, beyond the compulsion of studying. So now, whatever you do during the course of your PhD or just after completing your MA, whatever you do is out of passion or out of your interest in literature. And this will make you do everything in better terms, in broader perspectives, and also in all your capacity, because now you want to have something, have some knowledge, have some perspective, have some ideas, and you don't need to write your answers anywhere. Whatever you write, that will be for your own benefit, for your own broader perspective, broader understanding of literature. So, if you are on that path, now if you want to understand literature genuinely, now if you want to understand literary perspectives and ideas, theories, and everything beyond the fear of the classroom, then you must have the books that will give you that opportunity. And the first one that I would advise you to read is Relook's Theory of Literature. You can find this book free of cost on the archive website, which is archive.org, archive.org in other terms. Go there and search for Rene, Wellek, Relook, and you'll find perhaps the first book, that is Theory of Literature. Now try studying this book. This will give you many challenges. This will also give you many wider and broader perspectives about literature. What is literature? What is the nature of literature? Why do we study literature? How and why is studying literature and literature, being two distinct subjects, so much related? What is literary theory? Why do we need literary theories? Why do we need to study literature? And many questions are there discussed by the author in vivid terms, and this book will open new vistas for you. So while you sit waiting for your ticket to do a PhD, you can read this book and have broader perspectives, have yourself the opportunity to gain some knowledge, new knowledge about literature. The second book is by the same author, that is Concepts of Criticism. Now, this book will give you a vivid idea, a rainbow of ideas in terms of literary criticism. Why do we do that? Why do we need this? Why do we need that? Why do we need theories? Why do we need the practice of critically examining the text? How to do that? And there are many other perspectives discussed wonderfully by this authoritative scholar, which was very popular in literature. Like Rene Wallach has written wonderfully, and once you read the books by him, you will understand why am I praising the person so much and why am I putting that person right at the top of my list. And now you must read many other scholars, and among those I will name Terry Gilliton. So Terry Gilliton's books are challenging, are mostly otherwise challenging your notions, challenging your understanding of literature, etc., challenging your ideas about certain authors, certain movements in literature, certain theories. Terry Gilliton has been an avowed Marxist for so long, but his ideas are so vivid, so wide and so broad that he can encapsulate many things together in a wonderful and in a very unconvincing way that will just make you awe and surprise so many times. Like, how could he do that? So if you're wondering what books by Terry Gilliton you must read, then I would suggest two books right now. The one is The Event of Literature. Now, this book will ask two major questions in two different terms, and the question is the same. What is literature and what is literature? Now, if you go through those chapters, wonderful chapters, you will understand the depths of literary discourses that you may have missed during your classes, during your conventional studies. So that is why studying beyond the compulsion or beyond the fear of marks becomes very important. So you should go through The Event of Literature. And after that, you can also read Terry Gilliton's 2004 publication, After Theory. Now, this book discusses literary theories in different perspectives, how they rise, how do they fail, how does a literary theory just encompass the literary discourse, and then how does it fade away. So Terry Gilliton's ideas may be unorthodox, but they are wonderful to challenge your notions, your understanding, your wisdom in literature. And now that you have completed your graduation and post-graduation, and now that you are being ambitious to become a professor, then you should challenge yourself by reading these books and see where do you stand and how you can improve yourself for the challenges that await you ahead in your career. So this is the point where I'll leave today, and I wish to take this discussion forward. Now, this discussion will continue like serious talks on English literature, and I invite all of you to share your ideas. The students who have completed graduation, post-graduation, and the students and professors who are teaching, who have completed their PhD or who are doing wonderful things in the world of literature. I welcome all of you to share your opinions about literature in general and about your own experiences in studying, teaching, and doing literary things like writing poems, writing stories, writing books, writing critical books, and all that. So if you are indulged in literature in any way, I welcome all of you to share your ideas, and then we will discuss all those wonderful ideas together. So this is it for today, and I hope that this rant or this conversation or this discussion will help you challenge yourself in studying literature beyond the fear of marks and see whether do you stand on the ground that is firm, or you just have some flimsy ideas about literature and you need to improve yourself before you get enrolled to do a PhD. So once you challenge yourself and once you have better idea, broader ideas, broader perspectives in the world of literature, then your PhD will make a good mark, good impression in the world of literature, and then you will be just ready to take the new job of being a professor. That is a very responsible one. So this is it for today, and I will leave it here, and I will be back with some new ideas to discuss, some new conversation points to have this kind of discussion once again. Till then, have good time, all the best for your PhD, all the best for your further courses, and thank you for being with me.